opportunity of a lifetime.
There's a reason I don't go on dates with men my age, and it's because when you go to lunch with them, they order dumb shit like tater tots. Like, what the fuck is this shit? What is this?
It's not dumb.
This is not. Where's my? I want an entree.
It's happy hour.
He said happy hour.
Can't buy your own?
I mean, guys don't court anymore. They don't court. Take me out to dinner.
Why? Why should we do that? Be guy number 45? We know y'all got foodie calls. I mean, we can go on girl pages and listen to how y'all talk about how you can finesse a man out of free money and food. You know, it's just interesting to me. You guys say all the time that a man can't demand anything out of a woman, but y'all love demanding things out of a man. I demand free food from a stranger. But if I demand anything from y'all, I'm a misogynist. It's very interesting to me. You know, I thought we were against traditional roles. I thought women were able to do everything, superior, goddess, but a man is still relegated to his traditional role. Why are you not relegated to your traditional role? I'm very confused. See, men courted women in the past because women acted a certain way. Are you acting that way? Probably not.
She isn't, and they haven't. Not for a very, very long time. Guys, here is the Western reality summed up in 5 words. Women are an unnecessary expense. Sure, they'll spend all of their time on social media talking and laughing about how men don't have any other option but to settle, but if that were the case, then we wouldn't see women that hit the wall in tears on the same platforms, wishing for real men and wondering where they've all gone. Feminism is a mental condition, and for those who choose to endorse it, like the simp minority, the price is just going to keep getting higher. What makes it hilarious for those no longer involved is that these chicks don't seem to understand how to fix the problem. They get all of the instructions, but the thing is, they're addicted to the fiction they've spun up in their compromised minds. They write story after story about how they can't quite comprehend why men will never foot the bill after the carousel ride. Like this one called, "It's now 40% more expensive to be single and dating than it was a decade ago."
It's a mystery.
For Nate King, a digital content associate at a museum in Chicago, the surging inflation over the past year has impacted more than his cost of living. It has also changed his dating life. King was always able to make ends meet on his nonprofit salary and would even afford to live alone. But this summer, as prices began to rise, he started to feel a pinch. When he met a woman he liked at a concert, he was between paychecks and decided to wait to ask her on a date. But the spark fizzled and they never got together. As things got more expensive, there was less and less money for stuff that wasn't just bills, he says. You ask yourself, do I go out on a date or get groceries next week? It's definitely been a bummer because, for me at least, it gets a little harder each time to work up the nerve to ask someone out.
You're going the wrong way!
King's situation is one that many singles across the US can relate to. This year, inflation hit a 40-year high, a reality that singles who don't get the tax breaks available to married people or the benefits of a 2-income home are feeling. According to the 2022 Match Singles in America report, released this week, the top 3 stressors for singles right now are all related to finances, the impact of inflation, the state of the economy, and their long-term financial futures. This was true for all generations except Gen Z, which reported being primarily stressed by mental health. Nate King. Meet the simp tax. Simp tax, meet Nate. Recently, I talked about the simp issue at length, so I'm not going to dive in too heavily, but even the start of the sob story perfectly highlights what I was saying about these feminist articles. I mean, it is Time magazine, so it's not like I was expecting something fresh, but still, have some damn self-respect. Of course, the US government is out of control and playing with house money like it's going out of style. We all know this. The Federal Reserve has been arguably a full-on puppet for administrations, regardless of what they can claim, since the 60s. That's nothing new. What is on the rise at new breakneck speeds is hoflation. But Nate King and this branch of the lobotomized media try everything they can to distract men from one of the West's key economic blunders, giving women a share of the wheel.
What you're saying is completely not true. The female mating strategy is radically different than the male's, especially if it's a healthy female. There's a doctor, she's a female. There are 2 things she points out that are really important. Number 1, she says that the female drive is generally reactive. And it's highly integrated, which is to say, yes, it's biologically driven, also psychologically, and also the culture of the society that they're in impacts it as well. Men's drive is largely just biologically driven, almost on a routine basis.
Have there been any side effects?
Ugh.
Hi.
Yeah,
What's
what?
the F for? What do you mean what? Come for my Valentine's present.
Sorry, what?
My Valentine's present? Like, it's coming up, so I just thought I'd pop round for my Valentine's present.
Okay, but we broke up.
Yeah, so Valentine's coming up, so I thought, let me come over for my present. Does
yeah,
it matter if we...
yeah, but what present? We broke up.
Yeah, so what? What's that got to do with my present? Can't we get back together then? Because, I mean, I'm going to be without a Valentine if you don't get back with me, and I need my presents, obviously.
Okay, but you're the one who broke up with me.
Yeah, so I broke up with you, now I'm going to get back with you. So...
Yeah, but why?
Because Valentine's is coming up. I haven't got anybody. I thought, why? Why not be back with you so I can make sure I get my present? I don't even mind breaking up with you after that.
So hold a minute, yeah. You want to get back
Pardon?
together, okay, yeah? Just for the sake of it being Valentine's Day, yeah? And then get a present, and then you'd be more than happy just to break up again.
Yeah, well, what? I don't get what you're not getting. I need a Valentine's present. It's coming up. If I don't get back with you, then I'm not going to get any presents, am I?
So why don't you get yourself a present?
No, because, wait, hold on. How's that going to work out? If I buy it for myself, how am I going to post it and say, oh, my boo gave me this, my boo bought me that? I've got nothing to post if you don't buy me something. Come on.
From the bedroom to the marketplace, pretty much all of this behavior we see in women can be connected to the cultures that are presently tolerated. Most women in the modern landscape resemble feudal debt collectors rather than the feminine image they claim to represent. Time and Nate King over here like to point the finger at inflationary measures, which to some extent is true. But even there you have feminist legislators pulling the strings. So much of this expensive policy, which lands in the laps of these taxpayers, is used to re-engineer education systems and emasculate the masses.
I'm a woman.
It's why I've said in the past that you can't just point to the government or social programs, expecting learned men to assume that the government's power is a masculine entity. Everyone with 2 brain cells knows it isn't. Let's see what the fools have to say about the numbers. In a Match's 12th annual report, researchers surveyed 5,000 single people between the ages of 18 and 98 across the US and found that they are spending $117.4 billion on dating every year. That breaks down to about $130 each month, or $1,560 each year per person, which is 40% more than what singles spent on their dating lives a decade ago.
And who's responsible for that miracle?
It comes as no surprise that the financial pressures of recent years have impacted what people are looking for in a partner. A whopping 96% of singles think it's important to share similar attitudes about debt and spending with a partner, and 23% of singles say they are now more appreciative of frugal people.
I mean men.
Likewise, economic circumstances have made stability sexy. 30% of singles surveyed said that because of inflation, they are more eager to find a financially stable partner.
That's one way to put it.
Haley Sachs, the founder of financial literacy company Finance is Cool and Instagram meme influencer at Mrs. Dow Jones, believes that the current financial climate, challenging through it maybe, is forcing positive and necessary conversations about financial compatibility. Relationships are based on 3 levels of compatibility: emotional, sexual, and financial, she says. It's as important to talk about finances as it is talking about your family or your childhood. It's a core element of who you are. And yet, it's not okay if a man just wants to go out for a cup of coffee instead of an overpriced steakhouse. Ladies, seriously, pick a damn lane. I know this is not a mystery to Man Guide regulars, but the reason this story's author, Katie Lang, is sharing the positive stats as if they're shared traits is because if she were to show that many of the aforementioned frugal 23% were the last remaining males, there'd be no women in the stat. And Katie, we know why you refer to the people spending 40% or more on dates as singles. It's because virtually anyone can carry the cost here is a man. You're not fooling anyone but yourself. All of the chicks in this story so far use euphemistic language like Bert Kreischer drinks fun juice. Women love, quote, discussing finances because they're the only ones who benefit from the transaction.
150, it was around 45 grand. 450, yes.
So you can be somewhere between 60 grand and 100 grand for food and bar.
Alone.
Yes.
Yeah, 200 to 250 people.
Good luck, buddy.
I made my last alimony payment this month. It was.
You guys were married for 8 years?
Yeah.
Was
So
it?
in California,
it's half the time you were married?
unless it goes to 10 years, and then it's indefinite. It's up to the
After
judge.
10 years.
Yep. If we'd been married for 10 years, it would be an indefinite amount of alimony, up to the judge, and that payment was assessed based on my earnings, of course, but also there were no stipulations about her needing to work ever. Right, so those payments are coming out, and she just doesn't have to work, and she hasn't worked ever. So
you paid alimony for 4 years?
Yeah,
4 years.
Yep.
Okay.
She didn't work the whole time?
No, not since we even got together.
The pain in this guy's face is the same pain that stories like this try to ignore, and that's a huge problem. Katie Lang and Time magazine use this wording with the belief that men will magically forget how the West got to this point in the first place. It's the same kind of bullshit that makes governments like that found in the UK salivate over the thought of arresting hardworking dudes just trying to blow off steam on X or Twitter. What they aren't accounting for, which is very dumb of them, is that the more any article or video tries to change the language to serve their respective goals, the more noticeable the hypocrisy becomes to anyone with a functioning brain. Speaking of functioning brains, more from a person who doesn't have one. Maria Avgitaitis, the CEO of Agape Match in New York City and the host of the podcast Ask a Matchmaker, agrees. She argues that the current financial challenges faced by singles can create opportunities for them to figure out their compatibility with potential partners when it comes to financial attitudes and lifestyles.
And incapable of an original thought.
How do you spend your money? What do you splurge on? Where do you want to live? These are questions that people are asking more and more, she says. You want to be aligned because financial stress is the #1 reason why people divorce.
You sure about that?
Avgitaitis also makes the case that finding love in the time of inflation is more than possible, noting that she began her matchmaking business in the wake of the 2008 recession and has borne witness to many rounds of dating through financial crises.
You're lying.
It's easy to blame inflation, but inflation is a global phenomenon. Love is recession-proof. People will find a way to go on dates, she says. Now there's so many more affordable things to do than ever before. Avgitaitis' advice seems to align with what many singles are doing to pursue love despite feeling the pressures of inflation. According to the Match study, 84% of singles prefer a casual first date over a formal one. 30% are now more open to doing free activities on a date, and 25% are more open to simply meeting for coffee or drinks.
Not women.
Being part of a 2-income household is amazing. You can split the rent, you can split the food, there's a lot of benefits to it, she says. But a wrong relationship, even if you're going to share the bills, is ultimately really expensive for you and your mental health. It's important to prioritize your own financial goals. Whoa guys, what an inspiring message. Looks like our work here is done. All of the clips and data have been a lie. It's love that conquers all. Look, for the uninitiated, I sound like a real cynical asshole. And maybe I am, but the point is there's absolutely nothing profitable for men in the world of dating, and the crippling alimony payments that follow those misinformed. This whole thing talks about singles' desires, trying to make it sound like men and women have the same interests. But if you walk outside for just a second, any real man in the West can see that the desire to live frugally is a masculine trait. The only time women think about this type of thing is if someone pulled the old drizzle maneuver. That's literally the only time they think about cutting back. Usually, if Western men plunge into the dating scene, this is what they get.
One thing about me, I don't play. If we go into a restaurant and you sit with your back facing towards the door, we would never go on a date again and you'll never see me again. Because what type of shit? Are you a man or not?
Here I am pushing Melissa's car. Some damn problems on himself. He's the guy when you have me. So 3 hours later of trying to get Melissa's car to work. And it's clear to say that I had no clue what I was doing.
I can live my life as a woman and not need a man. In my day-to-day life, I don't need a man to fix my car. I'll just go to the mechanic.
If NASA says it's too hot to go to the sun, then why don't we go at night when the sun turns off?
And this is the only reason these chicks play with language and skew the numbers in their favor. The truth is, most men have already left. They wouldn't even consider entering this market because doing so would mean encouraging absolute poverty. There isn't a place on that side of the planet where a man could date and be certain that it wouldn't come back to haunt him, along with a woman eager to project her insecurities for not receiving a $300 date. So, we aren't doing it. Not for a long time.
All those years he suffered, those were the best years of his life because they made him who he was. All the years he was happy, total waste. Didn't learn a thing.
And that's the journey of masculinity. The only thing I'd specify is that the suffering has to have meaning. Self-harm doesn't produce anything but more of the same. Men, if you still live in the West, the system is going to continue to say that your beliefs are radical and unreasonable. They're going to try and spin it like men are out of their minds for not spending crazy amounts of money on something with zero value. Protect your wallets. That's the message here. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.